when you're talking about the mindset, is the first thing. I absolutely 100% agree with you. Because once you have the mindset and you have the mental resilience to do stuff, then it's very hard to stop you. But I take that a bit further and say mind, body, spirit. Yeah, and at times one can be stronger than the other. In order to have your best mind, you need to have your best body as well. I use this analogy: a mindset of an entrepreneur, body of an athlete, and spirit of a monk.
I love that.
Yeah.
Nice one.
Yeah.
With me, it's a little bit different. It's happiness, mindset, and then wealth.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Nikhil, and today we are back for another episode of Into the Muse. Right here, I got a good friend of mine. I know him as Aubrey. You might know him as Snaps on 7, but I also call him the Snap Man. What's up, bro?
Hey, what's going on, bro?
You good?
What's up, everybody? All good, all good?
Good to have you on the show, bro.
For sure. Good to finally make it happen.
Yeah. So you have a lot going on right now.
Yes, sir, sir.
Yeah, I know you just launched a magazine.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you want to talk about that?
I guess it was supposed to be a blog
Okay.
originally, but as a team we spoke about it and also just realized that the amount of things we want to cover in each blog had to be much bigger than that. We needed to talk about so it's called the Melville Untold. It's all about Melville. And if you're going to talk about Melville, you gotta really give the people something of value, unless you're dropping a blog post daily.
Yeah.
Or like weekly. And we don't want to do that. We want to drop one issue each month, because also we're doing a whole bunch of other things as a business. So we decided that in order to adequately create something of value, it has to be a magazine. Like the blog just wouldn't suffice.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have viewers here from all over the world, not just South Africa, it's international and things. So let's tell them about Melville. Like, what makes Melville so special to you? And why do we need a blog or a site for Melville?
Well, firstly, I think you got to give them a bit of context.
Yeah.
In terms of like what I do.
All right. Yeah, we'll get to that.
Because just talking about why Melville's so special to me will sound kind of weird without the context of what I'm doing here, which is trying to raise the social value and the actual value of underrated culture hubs, beginning with Melville, my home where I was born and raised.
Yeah.
So pretty much creating new tourist attractions where using locations that are otherwise slept on.
Let's speak about what you do, because you're always on the streets of Melville. You're always there.
I'm supposed to be, but these days I'm not there as much as I should. So I started off just hustling, man. Like I was hella hungry, and I'm an entrepreneur. Like I'm an entrepreneur of note. I'm the Kobe of entrepreneurs. I saw because I went through some stuff in life or whatever, and I had to try and find cut my expenses, and I found a place this side here with my life coach. She had like a young cottage in Ghana that I could get to and pay a bit less than ours. So just, especially if you're an entrepreneur, you think that way. The first thing is, when situations are tough, look at what the big expenses you can cut are as soon as possible, and then figure out how to move lean. So that's what I did. And when I found myself in Melville, and I just saw that, look, like as an entrepreneur, I'm a hustling ass. So I saw that there's a hub here of people who are just coming to spend cash. And there's a lot of them and different types of them, and there's different types of businesses. And then I was like, bro, there's gotta be an idea here. Like there's something I can tell these folks. Like I've never had, as an entrepreneur, I've always been pushing online mostly.
Yeah. So
to actually be able to flex my entrepreneurship skills to real people, I was very excited with that prospect. So I decided, actually my niece was graduating from school, and from UJ, and she was was it UJ? No, it was like some nursing school, whatever, and she was like, yo, please bring your camera. So I brought the camera, and No, actually, I didn't bring the camera. I forgot the camera. And when I get there, and it was quite far. The thing was like 3 taxis away. The where the place was, where the graduation was happening. And I get there, and there's another cat with the camera coming to support his sister or something. And everybody was like, yo, take a picture of us, take a picture of us. And he's like, yeah, $20. Yeah, $20.
Oh, so that's where you got your rate.
I was like, oh man, this guy's like, he's about to make thousands. I was like, shit. And as an entrepreneur as well, like, you always think you need to move quick. So when an opportunity arises, as long as you obviously have the right, correct info, you need to make sure that, okay, quickly validate the situation.
Just getting the speed.
You know what I'm saying? But first you gotta validate the opportunity, because most opportunities seem like opportunities until you do them. Then you realize why many people don't do them. So as soon as it's validated, you gotta move quickly. So I still thought to myself, shit, bro, I could actually catch those 3 taxis back home, fetch my camera, and still come back and make a little bit of cash.
So you did that?
I didn't. I didn't. Fear held me back. Like, I guess some sort of, I don't know, fear a little bit, but at the same time I was like, yo, this man is doing his thing, you know, this is his lucky day, you know, I wasn't here, I wasn't based, I could probably have made a bit of cash, but at the same time I just thought, on the way home I was just thinking, shit, I could have done it, why didn't I? Damn, procrastination. Got back home, took the camera, went for a walk around Melville. The first person I saw, I was like, yo, you'd like to get a snap, it's only $20. Hey! They were like, of course. Next thing, before I even got to, this was from like 27 boxes. Before I even got to Smoking Kills, which is like a 250 meter walk, maybe 300 meter walk, less, probably about 200 meter walk, no, even 100 meter walk. Before I even got to Smoking Kills, I had made like $200, bro. And as I get to Smoking Kills, somebody I knew is like working inside, a friend of mine, Mika, shout out Mika. She's working inside Smoking Kills selling tickets. And she's like, yo, they're looking for a photographer. Sebastian needs a photographer, come in. I was like, what? Dude, I made like so much cash that night, and I still sold the snaps back to Sebastian, and I was like, what? I knew there was something here. So I never left.
Yeah, that's where I met you as well, the Smoking Kills. I remember that night. It was the night that my first phone got stolen. I've been through 4 phones now this year.
Unfortunately, that's the underside of Melville. Yeah.
That's just South Africa in general. Well, this
Melville,
the Melville,
yeah.
Guys, if you're ever in Melville, please watch your phones. Whatever you do, watch your phones. But yeah, that's what I like about you, like your hustle. Like I saw you were there, taking pictures, you were grinding, mingling with the people, working. Like that's what I like. I like people who have a goal and they set out to do it no matter what. Like there's always, I know especially in your field, like being a camera operator or cameraman, there's always this technical difficulty that you have to go through every day. And it's very easy for like people to come across these like stumbles and barriers and obstacles and just like give up, saying, nah, I'm done. I'm gonna do something else. And I've been like listening to people and like taking in info and stuff, especially by people who like were in multiple fields of business doing different things. And there's this place where you start off and you're gonna encounter some obstacles and stuff, and then lots of people are like, nah, this shit is hard. Then they decide, okay, I'm gonna go do something else. And then they start again, and then it's a continuous cycle until you realize, no, this is you're going up, you're gonna go down, and if you carry on, you're gonna go up again. And that's what I respect about you, and I like how you do things. So let's speak a bit let's speak a bit about your mindset and your like routine about going through things. Yeah.
Routine in terms of?
Like, I know you have a very specific routine that you go about, and before you get like you start off doing this
morning routine.
Yeah.
Well, firstly, that starts from learning that humans are creatures of habit, and stability is where we thrive.
Yeah.
So as I said, when I went through some stuff in my life and I found myself at a really bad position, when you feel stuck in life, the first thing you should do is look inside and see how you can better yourself in order to open up new avenues. So I read a lot.
Yeah.
Read a lot of books, watched a lot of YouTube. I still do. I'm a learning addict.
Yeah.
So first thing, one of the biggest things I learned was that we're creatures of habits and we thrive in stability.
Okay.
So
sorry to cut you off there. Like, me, I cannot afford to be in a habit because like I work all different times and stuff. So that's something that like I'd like to get to at some point, but like right now I'm like I have to be spontaneous. I'm like can't be a creature of habit.
Well, there's spontaneity, whatever that word is, within. So when I say like stability, obviously like not all of us are 9 to 5 workers. I'm not a 9 to 5 worker. You don't understand how crazy my day is and how many different things. This is not something that's in my daily routine kind of thing, but I managed to squeeze it in because you need to create. You can't just say like I'm not a person of habit and I need to live my whole life spontaneously. You need to kind of. So firstly, you would go through your whole week. Well, think about an ideal week for you. So there's got to be some stuff that always happen. So maybe you always have to go edit. You always have to record your podcast. You always have to go to the gym. So you find those things that always have to happen.
Yeah.
And then you build your ideal week. Then when you build your ideal week, with making sure that those blocks are blocked out because okay, this is the times that I'd rather go to the gym. This is the time where I'm best at whatever. Then you will find that, oh shit, okay, I've got this many hours free, I've got this hour free, I've got this time here free. When you have those, then you can start to think about, okay, cool, I'm gonna leave these for spontaneous things that may just arise. So once you have that kind of, my life is literally a timetable. Mm-hmm. I know that, okay, on Monday I wake up at this time and I meditate for this long, or I do my morning routine for this long, and then I have an empty block. Then I know that, okay, cool, I like to do communications at this time and I like to do whatever at this time. Then I know that, cool, if anybody calls me like, yo, are you busy on Monday? Can you do this and this and this and that? I'll be like, I'm only available between this time and that time, and that's it. You've got to also people got to respect your time, and you've got to respect your time enough to enforce that too. Absolutely. Kind of thing. I used to be like a super people pleaser. Yeah. Where anybody would say to me, are you available now? And I'd be like, shut, I'm coming. You know what I'm saying? That messed up my whole
that can really fuck you up. Yeah. Because they say, if you're a friend to everyone, you're an enemy to yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah. You can't just be trying to please everyone and then you end up falling short on like what you want to do.
Exactly. When you say yes to something, you say no to something else.
Yeah. So, how long have you been meditating for? And what kind of benefits have you found from meditating?
About 3 years now. I started transcendental meditation about 3 years ago.
Okay.
Went like to a whole course with my brother and stuff.
Okay.
The benefits, I must say I haven't really gone, okay, this is the first year that I've gone for a sustainable, long enough time to really like get into deep meditations for long. You know, before it was always being broken up by whatever, like maybe I get turned up the night before and then like I can't wake up and I don't feel like meditating because I'll fall asleep because I'm hungover or something like that. So it was really hard to sustain like maybe a full week of meditation before. So I felt like that was the main reasons why I wouldn't really see proper benefits. But with transcendental meditation from the go, you kind of feel I guess a little bit, you feel like you get a little bit more energy in a sense straight away. Like you can push for an extra hour in the day or something like that.
So how long do you meditate for?
Minimum 20 minutes.
Okay, that's quite long.
Yeah, minimum 20 minutes, but I enjoy hour sessions. Like, I'll always tell myself, we don't have time today, you gotta get to work, do 10 minutes. And then next thing I'm there an hour later, like, I don't wanna get out of this, it's so good. Yeah. I think the biggest benefits I've seen is being able to piece puzzle pieces that I otherwise would never have had the chance to. So introspection is the biggest one. So I feel like everybody kind of gets a chance to do this when you do like chores, like when you're doing washing the dishes. You get so deep in your mind and then you start to introspect about a lot of stuff and then an idea like connects with another idea and you start to piece things together. or like, you know,
walking
does that, showers sometimes do that.
Yeah.
You know, but when you deliberately take the time to, you know, stay quiet, get into your mind, and leave yourself there for some time, where the thoughts come in. Like, I'm not saying do transcendental meditation or do guided meditation or do whatever, but if you just find yourself sitting quietly with your thoughts for minimum 10 minutes. I think 10 minutes is too short to really get to the juice, because a lot of my connections happen towards the end of my meditations.
Okay.
But even that helps because it starts to put things into perspective a little bit more, you know. I think that's pretty much the biggest benefit I've had, is just retrospecting, like going through things that have happened and understanding how maybe they might connect with each other. And some of my best, like example, asking my landlord for if she had a cottage that I could rent for cheaper. Say my landlord, asking my life coach whether she had a cottage that I could rent for cheaper, came from a meditation. I was just deep in meditation. I was like going through a lot of stuff, and I was like, there's gotta be a solution. And that's what helps me. That's exactly, like even just yesterday, I was going through, like this weekend was quite confusing for me. I'm going through a big period of change. And it always happens when I'm going through a big period of change that I needed the most. And all of those times of meditation, they culminate to when that moment comes, when I need to make a big change, or I need to, you know, like something just isn't right and I'm confused. The idea will come just like that.
Yeah. Meditation is something that I need to get into. So I have ADHD. So for me, sitting still for a while, just being in my thoughts, they don't really click with me, but it's something that I think I should be doing. But like for me, walking is something, because they say walking, some of the greatest ideas of all time came to people while they're walking.
Introspective.
Yeah.
It's introspecting, that's it. You're just giving you a chance to think about yourself.
Right.
And yes, whatever.
So you said you're going through a big change right now. What is that for you?
The business is growing. I'm growing. The brand is the biggest thing that's growing, and obviously I started approaching people saying, would you like a picture for 20 Rand? And because I was hungry, I was being innovative, I was being proactive. I don't think negatively of any of those situations, but a lot of people think negatively of people who bother people on the street for pictures. If you're in South Africa or in Joburg, you know that there's those guys that just wait for you and take a picture and then try to send it back to you. You know, from the go, I knew that like I'm one of those guys at the beginning, but I tried my best because, as I said, I was an entrepreneur, so those guys, they just, not to speak badly of them, but they just trying to like live. Yeah, in a sense. So they hustling. I was hustling, but I was hustling for a reason, for a longer. I had a long-term vision from the day, like from that moment that, okay, from the first time I took the first picture, that first day, I started a 3-phase plan.
Okay.
And every day I went home, it started growing and growing, and I'll speak to my life coach because thank God I lived with her. So it was amazing now that I could actually.
So did she help you come up with this 3-phase plan, or was that your plan? And
it came straight from the gods, bro. It came straight from the heavens, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you know, but having her there was amazing because she's super duper. She's insanely smart.
Yeah. So what does she do?
She does a lot of stuff. She's a writer. She's into different types of therapy. She has published 3 books called The Fire in My Belly. Also, there's a podcast shameless plug. Yes, called The Fire in My Belly by Yana Faye Zeta. That's she's my life coach. She's a really good friend, and I don't know where I'd be without the Zetas. You know, they've actually done so much for me in terms of giving me the opportunity and platform to grow and to find myself without being judged, you know, in a sense. So it's really amazing. I'd come back home with, so I'm a person, like, I'd say my 2 biggest strengths are ideas and like, I'd say maybe like a resilience to I don't know, whatever the situation is, if I put my mind to something, I need to make that thing happen. Yeah. But I'd say like my biggest strength is ideas. Like I'm the idea guy. Yeah. So I get haunted by ideas, like. Right. And at the beginning of the year, because I had just gone through this phase of learning. So all these pathways were in my head, but I hadn't had a chance to use them. So landing here, I was being haunted by ideas left, right, and center. So I'll get back home, and then I'll just be like, oh, yo, you gonna guess what? I got a new idea. Maybe I could do this, and then she'll be like, no, this is dope. But you're thinking too small. Like one thing I
Did she
realized.
tell you you're thinking too small?
Well, that's the thing about. I feel like that's the thing about South Africans in a whole. She's from the UK. She's actually born in the UK. She's half UK, half German, and she was raised all around the world. Like her mom, her parents were travelers. So if you read her book or if you listen to her podcast, you'll hear a lot about that. But like also when I speak to international, a lot, like my neighbor as well, she's German born. She's a UJ psychology teacher, and I have tea with her sometimes. When I speak to people that like, especially like intellectuals from other like first world countries, mostly, they've got such a huge way of thinking. You know, like they've got, like I think big. Like I think I'm the biggest thinker like I know.
Yeah.
But next to her, it's still like, you could be doing this.
This reminds me of something that the Wolf of Wall Street said, Jordan Belfort. He said this in a talk once. He's like,
one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Movies of all time.
Yeah. I know one of your favorite people, man.
And people, well, not Jordan Belfort, but Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Respect that. Yeah, in one of his speeches, you told everyone to put their hands up. Everyone raise your hands up, and then people raised it. He's like, is that as high as you can raise it? Raise it all the way up. And he's like, that's how you dream. You could be dreaming even further, all the way up, putting your hand up, all the way up. But you're only going halfway. And that's how you dream as well. You should think that you can achieve everything. And like there's like, it goes back to that other saying, shoot for the moon, and if you fall, you land on the stars.
I think that almost every day.
Yeah.
That's in my mind all the time.
Yeah. So like that's something that I've been dreaming big for a while, and now I've been playing chess for like 5 months.
You're gonna teach me chess though.
I have to, yeah. Like right now, this past week, I've been playing for 6 days in a row, and normally I'd lose like few games, but like for 2 days now I'm undefeated. Been playing online, undefeated. Yeah. I went through like an 8-game undefeated streak. I was getting in stalemates, and with stalemates it's like a draw and stuff, and they're deducting points for that. But I was still like 8 games undefeated. So I'm like, yeah. And like the thing about chess, I think I've mentioned this to you before, but when you start off, you start thinking about your first move and your next move. When you're playing a little bit longer, you think about your next 5 moves.
It's called game theory.
Yeah. But they say like the grandmasters, they think 15 moves ahead.
That's why I want to learn chess.
Yes. And there comes a point where you don't just think about your next moves, you think about your opponent's next moves. And right now I've already planned like my next 15 moves in life. And I think this relates a bit to your 3-phase plan.
I think that's very different
Okay.
to game theory.
Yes.
With what I'm doing here, it's sort of I guess I've identified a problem that I feel like I'm the best place to fix that problem.
Best place geographically or spiritually?
I'm the best person, best time, best place geographically. I just feel like I'm the ideal person in this ideal moment in time to fix this thing. I feel like another person in this, given the circumstances and given the variables that be, wouldn't be able to solve this problem.
Okay. Can we identify this problem?
The problem is that Melville that Melville is an underrated culture hub.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a tourist attraction. It's not a major tourist attraction.
Yeah.
When people come to South Africa, they don't say, hey, I'm going to go to South Africa because I want to experience
Melville. They want to go to Kruger Park.
You know what I'm saying? They want to go to Cape Town. They want to go to Mawaneng maybe when they come to Joburg, or to Monte Casino or whatever. You know, so I fully, being born and raised here, believe that this place is a tourist attraction. Some tourists do find themselves here by luck. I call it luck. Yeah. Because it is a really beautiful place to be. And I think the most attractive thing about it is the people. Mm-hmm. But the reason why I feel like I'm the best place to do it is because, firstly, being born and raised here, I always make the analogy that I'm a shark in the water, you know, like, like literally this is the ocean and I'm a shark. Like, how are you gonna compete, you know? And at the same time, like, I know the people know me. I was raised by the people. Like, growing up, I wasn't a kid who would just stay indoors or just, like, with my family. I was raised by the whole community. Like, literally all the other kids' parents in the street would introduce me as their second son. Kind of thing. So, like, I was literally raised by the Melville people. I was always in the streets with all different types of friends. You know, the friends from Westbury, the friends from West Dean, the friends from, you know. At 9 years old, my brother was the manager of Buzzline and Rats, which is now Antisocial. And I would follow him to work, and he didn't know until it was too late, and he was too late for work, and he can't take me back. And then I'll be sitting on the counter of the bar at Rats, and the waiters would take turns looking after me, kind of thing.
How old were you?
9 years old. So, like, that's what I'm saying. I'm literally a product of Melville. So, like, I know these people. I know how they think. You know, they like how I sound. They like how I don't know, everything I do. They're just like, oh, wow. And I'm like, it's probably because you people made this, that you enjoy it so much, you know, in a sense. That kind of sounded a little bit arrogant, but
I feel it.
Yeah.
Don't be modest. Be honest.
For sure.
Yeah, that's
what
I like to say that. Yeah, my dad used to say that. Like, I'm not modest. I'm honest. Because, like, when you do shit, like, you need to let people know that you're really doing this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go back to your belief on learning and things, and let's talk about books now. What kind of books are you, or what book are you reading at the moment?
At the moment, I'm reading The Psychology of Money.
Okay.
Yeah, I took a pause from Cornelius Vanderbilt's The First Tycoon.
Yeah.
It was a very tough read, but fuck, I loved it, bro. That guy is such a hustler. Oh my god.
Yeah.
He just I think one of the reasons why I was just such a brutal hustler at the beginning when I first started is because I was also reading that book. And
how long have you been reading that book for?
The Cornelius one?
Yeah.
I read it for about 2 months, but it's very long. It's like, it's probably the longest book I've read behind Steve Jobs' book is the longest I finished. But it was like 1,200, but it was very difficult. Like, it's tough.
Yeah.
They're talking about filibusters in the South America and Nicaragua. They're talking about, like, proper politics that happened and the way that you would finesse the politics. So, like, one of the toughest reads, but just the sheer hunger and passion and drive of the man, like, it really got me energized. But I took a pause on it because I saw a YouTube video by Mark Tilbury. Shout out Mark Tilbury. Mark Tilbury, he's older cat, older YouTuber, and he talks about getting rich. So I'm all about trying to make a lot of money because it's for positive reasons, but we'll get to that in the future or later in the podcast if needs be. But one of the main things, my first goal in life is to find financial freedom, and we're in the information age. So, like, why not take advantage of any piece of information you can get? So that's why I religiously watch YouTube videos, I religiously read books. And a lot of them are about how to get rich and all the finesses and all of that. So this guy, Mark Tilbury, was like, I read 100 books on getting rich, and this is what's gonna work.
I think I heard something.
I told you about it before. I told you about it before. And then he talks about brutal forcing your way to 100K, the first 100K.
What's that? How to make your first 100K?
So he talks about what makes you rich.
Yeah.
Like, he says there's 100 books that he read that will make you rich.
Yeah.
And then he's like, the first bit of it, getting to 100K, brute force.
Okay.
Like, just making sure you push, like, whatever you gotta do to get to 100K. And he was like, the first thing you gotta do is get your mindset right.
100%. Yeah.
So it's like, if your mind isn't right, you won't be able to you're not going to be mentally strong enough to keep that money, to say no to the wrong things, to save, to make the right decisions, those kind of things. So the first book he suggested was Millionaire Mindset. I stopped every book I was reading right then and there, and I went straight for Millionaire Mindset, got it, and I read that. I still listen to the audiobook to this day. I love that book. It literally, I can say it was a big life changer for me. Huge life changer. And then the second one was The Psychology of Making Money.
Okay.
So I'm on that one. The reason why there's been such a big gap between those two books as well is because my business started booming like crazy after the first book. So I haven't really read as much as I should have in the last 6 months.
So do you have 98 books to go?
Yeah, I got 98 books to go. But I don't know if I'm gonna read them in that thing. But yeah. I'm a very like, if I believe you, like even if it's a lie, if I think that what you're saying could have some validity to it, even if I know that maybe it's not scientifically true, but if I believe in the whole concept and the whole structure and it makes sense to me, I'm gonna do what I can to make sure I don't miss a flipping step. Okay. You know, so when I first watched that video, I told myself I'm gonna read every single one of those books. Yeah. And I probably will, but maybe not in that order, because I do love biographies, and biographies are not, it's mostly self-improvement books. Yeah. That are there. Not many biographies, and I love biographies. Yeah. So I'll probably take a break here and need to read a biography. Yeah.
When you're talking about the mindset, it's the first thing. I absolutely 100% agree with you. Because once you have the mindset and you have the mental resilience to do stuff, then it's very hard to stop you. But I take that a bit further and say mind, body, spirit. Yeah, like and at times one can be stronger than the other. But I feel like physically you also need that as well, because in order to have your best mind, you need to have your best body as well, your best physical. Be 100% physical. So it's what I go through is I use this analogy: mindset of an entrepreneur, body of an athlete, and spirit of a monk.
I love that.
Yeah.
Nice one.
Yeah.
With me, it's a little bit different. It's happiness, mindset, and then wealth. Yeah. Well, mental strength, and then wealth. So
I guess saying monk is a bit too fast. I'm an artist, so like I'd say replace monk with artist, because I think art fuels me in most of my directions that I go. And I guess business-wise it ain't the best, but if you want to create the most authentic art, that helps a lot.
Dope.
Yeah.
Dope.
So you also said you like biographies, and you mentioned Steve Jobs.
Love biographies, bro. Love biographies.
Who would you say was your favorite biography? Which?
They're also dope, bro. But I'll be biased.
Or that you learned the most from?
I think the one that. Okay, I'll say the Steve Jobs one, because the Steve Jobs one, like, knocked me out of it, kind of thing. It snapped me out of the bullshit of everything else. Like, yo, like, there's actually ways to achieve the life you need. You don't need to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're all hoping for the life we need, but we're not willing to, we're not realizing that the knowledge is there, you know? Like, for me, learning some of his maxims and his ideas and his ways of, like, the way he confronted certain situations, I was like, bro, how many other biographies are there in the world, bro? They're all full of this kind of knowledge. Yeah. This is crazy. So I love that one because it was the most pivotal in my life to change the way I live. You know, just showing me that, yo, you playing games, bro. You can actually be getting into this shit much quicker. I love that one. I'll be biased because I think right now I'll probably be biased because of the freshest ones, the most recent ones. So I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks as well, since I haven't had a chance to read. So Estee Lauder's one is the last audiobook I listened to, which is amazing. She's so dope. But actually, no, I'm not gonna be biased. Hands down, the best biography that ever impacted my life the most and my mindset and everything was Naval Ravikant, the Almanac of Naval.
Okay.
Oh my word. Yeah, actually.
Why do you say that one?
It's pretty much all the the ideas and cheat codes in all the biographies put into little flipping tweet form lines, straight no nonsense, but also from his way of thinking. So the way he's packaged it, I feel like I can really identify with his way of thinking. We kind of similar types of mindsets, I guess. But like also it's just like it's no nonsense, bro. It's like do this, this, think this, get that, like kind of thing. And it's just no nonsense, and it's short, very short read, like 160 pages or something, 180 pages.
Yeah, the thing about like these audiobooks, like I don't know it's just me or what, but lots of them, like I already know the stuff, like it's already there in my mind, like, and they just like reinforce it. Like I never thought about the stuff that they say in a particular way. I've thought about it, but the way they phrase it, I'm like, yeah, I can relate to that.
Well, it's like this. A lot of us are kind of, so when you grow up, you're always navigating social things, social situations. You're always negotiating with your parents, with your mom for certain things. So a lot of these things, we were doing them anyway. And like game theory example, like with your chess or whatever, when you're playing noughts and crosses, you're trying to think, what's the next guy gonna do before like when you're playing rock, paper, scissors, you're thinking 3-4 things ahead. That's game theory, but like chess on a very, very basic level. So you start to lean towards the things that you're naturally good at and that actually have been lucrative or fruitful in your ways. And then you start to hone them. And as you get older, you get better at these certain things, but you don't realize what they are or understand. You haven't identified them. So when you read these, that's another thing I love about reading books, especially like self-improvement books, is that like some of these things I get to identify that, oh, that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
Now that I know that that's what I was doing, now I can deliberately do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I can even make it better. I can get better at doing that.
Yeah.
If I want to. Because now I've identified exactly what it is.
I think the guy who wrote Steve Jobs' book, he's recently, I don't know if it's out yet, but he was working on Elon Musk.
He's my favorite biographer.
Yeah.
Elon Musk's also one of my favorite human beings.
Yeah. Like I feel like I respect him to a large degree, but then there's also that other, the ethical aspect of him as well.
What's unethical about it?
Like the way when he took over Twitter, like he fired most of the.
What's that unethical? Which part of it was unethical? And do you have enough information?
Okay, maybe I don't, but like from certain, and it also that's the thing with media, like you hear things, but you don't know, and it's always taken out of context. Like you hear specific stuff about them, and then lots of people don't go and do the research to find if it's true or not. But from what I'm saying,
it's the biggest with Elon as well.
Yeah. So with
a lot of things
with Twitter, like when you fire those stuff, like how many people are unemployed now?
But bro, if you think about it, you're an entrepreneur. What's an entrepreneur supposed to do? Solve problems.
Right.
If you get into a place and there's so many flipping problems and they're all caused by the current staff, and you realize that the best thing to do in order for this problem to be solved more adequately is to release these people and bring people who can, like, first and foremost, it's his venture. Like, imagine people started telling me about my job and like about my business and who I can and cannot fire. Like, it's my business now.
Yeah.
So I know the best way to do this, and he's proven so smart in all these other ventures of his. Why are we questioning him now?
Yeah. I saw this one thing, like he fired this guy. He was like, this guy was like disabled or something. Like he had like some, like that guy couldn't like
I don't mean to laugh.
tweet properly, or like he couldn't do something fast enough. And it's like it was because I have this disease, and Elon Musk fired him.
Hey, bro, the thing is, the reason why obviously there's always going to be ethical things raised with Elon. Elon doesn't do things based on first principles. He's such a okay, we're good. He's such a human being. Like, he sees things as like he just acts like, okay, if everything I know about this thing is wrong, if it's possibly wrong, how can now with my knowledge and my whatever and my experiences, what do I do now, kind of thing, given the situation. So it's like a lot of things in life are based on conventional wisdom, which is the one thing that I feel like I identify with Elon Musk in is the way we're against conventional wisdom.
Yeah.
Like we like, what's it called? Very instinctually challenge conventional wisdom at every point. So like it's without even realizing I'm doing it. And now that I know it, because on the way here I was listening to an Elon Musk essay about Elon Musk.
Okay.
And they were just talking about how hectic he is at doing that. And I was like, oh, now I know that actually that's what I've been doing. But it's like society will say like, okay, when you're born, they're like, this is how things are done. This is how we do things. And then they just like, you ask why, and it's like, don't question it, do it. You know? Or like, you know, things like that. So, or this is how we think, or this is how you should embrace this, or this is how you should go to school, or this is whatever. Like, you should go to school, do this, and then get a job, and then get married. And you know what I'm saying? There's all these ways that things, and it goes down to a micro level when you start thinking about like technically how to do things. Like, you need to wake up at 8 a.m. because of this, or you need to eat your food with the left hand, or you know what I'm saying?
Also, that 3 meals a day thing.
3 meals a day.
It's unnecessary.
You know what I'm saying? 8 liters of water. Oh, I don't know, whatever the situation is. Maybe that could be biologically true, whatever, but I won't take it for fact until I've researched my
And everyone's also different. Everyone's body is different.
I was about to get to that, is that at the same time, it's like, you don't realize that, first and foremost, a lot of these things were created so long ago that maybe in that time and period, given what they had and given what they were consuming and given how they were living, those things were the right way to go about things and to live the optimal life, maybe.
Yeah.
But now, 100 years later, things are cheaper. Things are, eating more fast food. We know more hunting and gathering. You know what I'm saying? Like, things are a lot more easier to do, and so now you're gonna challenge. So now you're gonna stop me from challenging something that you're telling me to do. Like, I'm gonna listen to a construct that society has made by conventional wisdom. Like, no, I'm gonna do whatever I want to do in my own way, because nobody knows me and my strengths and what I've learned and the information I've consumed. And so now I'm gonna approach everything given my resources and my variables.
Yeah.
Variables, external, internal, how I grew up, like growing up here in Melville, but at the same time being able to go home to Limpopo and rural areas, has given me a different set. So one of the big dopest things that I learned from Navarro Vicant is what is it called? Unique scales or something like that. It calls it like your unique scales or something. I forgot what the exact word he uses, but it'll come. Anyway, so it's pretty much that like he's like, the way to get rich is by leveraging your uniqueness, in a sense. So your unique, what does it call it? Unique knowledge or something like that. So it's like, cool, I was born in Melville, I was raised in Melville, but I'm from a petty home in Limpopo, so I'd go there for rurals every December, and then I would also be raised in all these different homes. So I was raised, one of my best friends who lived across from our house was from a Portuguese home. We'd go to his family in Mozambique and to the farm in Durban. My other friend up the road, Justin, they'd call me their second son as well. We'd go to Botswana. They were really, really hands-on, practical people. Like, we would like build ant heaps. We'd build like earthworm farms. We would he had like rats and like fish, and we'd be building things with our hands. So like, just those unique traits that I learned from all of those people and all of those places, and my language and maxims from my language and my grandmother, when you bring them together, there's nobody with that set of skills. Calls it unique skills, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
That unique set of skills. You know what I'm saying? So once you figure out how to productize that, or once you start to approach problem solving based on those unique set of skills, that's when you can start really creating a big impact and making something of your own that nobody's ever seen. And I think that's probably why I challenge conventional wisdoms, because I embrace those. So I don't look at, oh, this is how you're supposed to pick up a phone. I look at what I know, what I've seen, what I've heard, what I've learned in the last whatever, how I saw things happening, and I'll be like, no, I feel like picking up a phone like this. Siri, answer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Example, kind of thing.
Yeah. Absorbing and being a sponge is important, because like you said, those stuff, like, you wouldn't think certain things in your past would like benefit you in the future, but you never know, like, when like a problem occurs, and then it's something that someone told you like 10 years back, and you remember that, and you're like, oh yeah, that's how I can solve this.
Crazy thing while you're there. I remember I came to your house last time and I told you about a guy who, I was listening to an audiobook about a guy who was captive, caught as a slave.
Oh yeah.
He's a Scottish guy. His name is somebody Ulrich, something Ulrich. Can't remember the first name. Scottish bloke. Went to the British War in World War One or whatever. Got captured by the Japanese. All of that, whatever. But he was a slave for like 20, 30 years or something. And they were tortured, the most brutal torture. And in his young life, he used to play every sport. Like, he never had, like, his life was packed with physical activity. He used to, like, he said in the morning he'd go for a swim, in the afternoon he'd go play football, in the evening he'd be playing cricket. So, like, his life was so packed with physical activity, and he'd also be training and whatever. So when it came to the worst situation in his life, when he was caught captive, and he had to, like, example, when the ship got bombed by the Americans and they were shipwrecked. He was shipwrecked for another few years. He had to swim for many miles, and he wouldn't have done that had it not been he wouldn't have survived as well or done as well in the slavery situation, like working all day, fighting for survival, having to run for miles, you know, if it wasn't of him growing up so athletic.
Yeah.
So as you're saying, like, the things in your past, you never know which tool you need to use, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And some tools you'll think that they ain't shit right now.
Yeah.
And then you have to just, like, you know, oh shit. Kind of thing.
Yeah. Like, life is a journey. There's a route that you take towards getting to your destination, but it's also very important to, like, embrace the journey as it is and being present in the moment. Like, I think that's hard. Like, it's a hard thing for us, because we either thinking about, oh shit, we fucked up here, now it's playing out in your mind all the time, or like, shit, this thing is coming up, I need to be ready, and then you forget to be present in the moment, and then you're gonna miss stuff. And yeah, that's why I think it's very important to be present.
For sure, definitely,
Yeah.
bro. Presence is everything, bro.
Yeah.
And it takes a long time. Meditation helps you with presence very much. It's helped me with presence a lot, because it's the moment that you have. You're literally giving the moment to thinking about the past and the future.
Yeah.
And getting back into alignment.
Yeah.
With it. So if you're forgiving yourself, then that's the moment to forgive yourself. You know.
Right.
If you planning ahead, that's the moment to plan ahead. But as soon as you're done, be here.
Right.
And do the best with what's in front of you.
Yeah. Word.
Word.
Now I just want to take it to the future. So, financially free, that's your motive.
First life goal.
First life goal.
Not 4.
Yeah. So I don't want you to put a time frame on it and things, but I know you did tell me before, said next year you're gonna be financially free. So how's that working? How's that plan coming about?
I'm also obviously realizing that things change along the route.
Yeah.
I think when I said it, I felt that it's possible, and the determination was there, and it still is. But you don't know what you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know that this big change in my business is about to happen. And I also didn't know that the more my business makes, the more it's gonna need to consume.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And so now I'm realizing that I probably have to reinvest a lot of my money that I was putting in the stock market, saving and stuff like that. The reason why I felt so confident about being financially free next year is because I was quite aggressive into the stock market when I first got off the ground. I was like, I'm not going broke again. Yeah. That's never gonna happen. So I was very, very aggressive with the stock market. But I'm now realizing that the best investment I could make is on my venture, because I know more information about my business, the people running it, or the people in it, the person running it, than I know about Apple stocks. And if Tim is like good enough to, I don't know what his flaws are, or if, you know what I'm saying, if Jeff Bezos' flaws, I can't just, you know, you can have confidence in that stock, but to an extent. But knowing your business and what you're doing here, you know, you can have more confidence, but obviously without trying to be biased, kind of thing. So I'm now starting to shift my mind on the biggest investment I could possibly make is back into my business. Better than the stock market. So I'm still mulling that. Like, do I now just stop and sell all my? But also I won't sell all my stocks, because Warren Buffett has taught me about the magic of compound interest.
Yeah.
Do you know that Warren Buffett, had he stopped investing at 50 years old, he would have been a billionaire only, and not as famous as he is. Now he's 90 something. In the last 30 years, so in the last 30 years of his life, he's become in the 50 billions.
Shit.
You know, a lot of people say like it's because he's a great investor and he learns whatever, but his main superpower and super weapon was longevity. That money wasn't compounding exponentially until he got to 50. Yeah. If he had stopped at 50, we wouldn't have known him. Yes. So whatever that I have in the market, I'm leaving in the market for as long as I possibly for as long as I possibly can, to see for myself first to have a compound interest actually there. I need to teach you chess, and you need to teach me more about the stock market and shit. That thing goes in 1 year, goes out the other. I don't know. I don't know. I need a life coach in investing, I think. But you brought up longevity and like that. Scholar, financial manager. Financial manager, yeah. You brought up longevity, and like longevity is key. Like before, when I first started, I've been doing what I'm doing for like 6 years. Like when I first entered this thing, and I thought I would have made it by now and shit. But like, dude, like now, that's why I was telling you about my next 15 moves. I'm planning ahead, like 9 years in advance. Like I have a goal and like longevity, and that's why like also changing your lifestyle and shit. Like it's easy to get carried away, like especially in Joburg, like it's fast. Like you can just be taken for a ride. Like you drink this night, and then it leads to other stuff. But like focusing on trying to be successful long term, because like when you start a business and shit, like a business, for example, is your child. And when your child is 3 years old, they're still learning. When your business is 3 years old, it's still taking off. Maybe they're gonna like start like becoming more successful in their teenage years and shit. And like that's what I'm learning now. And I feel like if you plan ahead, like good things can come from it. And if you plan ahead, you're not just gonna be helping yourself, you're gonna be helping others as well. And like that's something that as opposed to just like look at rappers, for example. How many rappers? Like why is it always funny when people say look at rappers? Because like but you're a rapper. Yeah, but like I could just be like only a rapper, and I'll be like with my shirt out, jumping on tables, throwing bottles and shit, and like a lot of rappers die young. They don't know the game, they don't know the shit. They like just here in it now for the money and shit, and then they fall off. And like that's very easy to happen, like especially if you're making a lot of money and shit. And I feel like sometimes it's better not to get everything that you want, because good things come to those who wait.
and like if you're patient with it, and you learn a lot, like you from all these failures, all these setbacks and shit, like you learn. Like I hate losing, but everyone hates losing. I hate losing. I hate losing, but I appreciate losing. Like
your championship part.
Yeah, like you have to lose to win. Like you have to learn from your failures to succeed in the future, and like that's why like longevity is key, because you're gonna be losing the small things.
Failures are the most important things.
Yeah,
they're the parts where you learn the most.
Yeah,
like they're the parts where you grow as a person the most. So all the wins are dope, but they're a combination of all the failures you had and those moments that you had to grow.
Right.
Because of failure. Failures are the most important part of the come up.
Yeah. Like look at Floyd Mayweather, for example. I don't know if you know him. He's considered the greatest boxer of all time. He's undefeated in his pro record, but he lost one fight in his amateurs. I think it was the Olympics. In the final, he was robbed. And he's crying like, I hate losing. I'm never going to lose again. And he's never lost in a pro fight, because and he's also someone who dedicated himself to his craft. Like he would go to the club and not drink. Like he'd just be chilling there, and then 2 a.m. while everyone's like lit and the car driving, he'd jog home. He'd just jog at 2 a.m. in the morning.
That's the determination you need in order to be great, bro.
Yeah, and there's a lot of sacrifices to be great. Yeah.
Can you say that again, bro?
Yeah. I was listening to one of the songs by Baby Keem and Kendrick, and Kendrick's like, everyone wants to be great, but the work don't relate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's something that the millionaire mindset also teaches you, is like, you can't say that you want to be great, but then behave like somebody who isn't on the road to greatness,
Yeah.
kind of thing. So if you were saying I hate losing, but you're sipping in a cloud,
yeah,
yeah, kind of thing. Not that sipping you can't sip in the club and be great. It's just it depends on what
you can't be doing that all the time.
It depends on what you choose. Everybody has their own trajectory, their own variables.
Yeah.
Situations. Maybe drinking in the club is one of the paths to your success. Maybe trying to become the best club promoter there ever was, or trying to be the best drinker ever. Whatever there is, bro. Like there's.
I think you find a lot of people with those aspirations here in South Africa, trying to be the best drinker in the world. A lot of competition here.
Don't get me started about this country, bro. Yeah. I think I think we're saying it earlier, like it's just a bit too social for me here. Not that I love the people, I love the culture, I love this country, like the way the vibes, but when you're trying to solve a problem as an entrepreneur, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's very tough to have adequate people who want to work with you for as hard as you want to work. People maybe you want to get to a certain place to now we want to come to Pizza Vino at a certain time.
Shout out to Pizza Vino.
Shout out Pizza Vino for having us. This is not a bad chat about them. I'm just saying example. If you want to come to a place like this to record your podcast at 6 a.m., nobody's going to want to come open for you at 6 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
Voluntarily, because work starts at 8. If we're not shooting until a certain time and they have to go home at 6 and it's 5 to 6, trust the whole staff will be outside. Yeah. Saying let's go home. It's just I feel like this country values the downside too much. Like the downtime.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There needs to be a balance, there's not enough people who want to do great things that will go above and beyond.
Yeah.
And when you're one of those people, it's tough to be surrounded by, the rest. Yeah. Because nobody's going to help you.
That's also, I guess it also comes back to their goals and their ambitions. Maybe some people just want to be average. They're just cool with a polo and
definitely.
But
also it's not wrong.
They'll go to their 9 to 5 and then they don't put in 100% effort. They're just there. Knockoff time is there. They go home. I'm someone who go to work, give my best, and then but still have enough energy to go back home and then work on my personal stuff. And like I think that's the thing that can separate like average from good and great. Like willing to sacrifice that time, sacrifice the downtime. And I'm someone who's like, I love my downtime. Like I have a downtime every day, but I still need to get other shit done.
Of course, balance is key, bro. Balance is key. But as you're saying, like everybody has different aspirations, and like family aspirations aren't a bad thing to aspire to. You know, like
Like a good family.
to cultivate your family life. And I think that especially Black Africans, like in our traditions and our culture, like that's the sign of great like achievement. You know, you like greatness is having like a proper family that's happy, and you know, cultivating the family moments and hosting family things, or you know what I'm saying, like ancestry, all of that kind of thing. Like, so I kind of understand that, like when people want to go home exactly at 5 o'clock, you know, because they want to get back to their family, they want to get back to, you know, as I said, like as you said, everybody aspires for different things. So maybe I aspire to be the greatest dad in the world, not to solve the flying to Mars situation. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's also valid. Like we also just gotta be able to validate people's aspirations and people's paths. You know, like if that's what they aspire to do, then that's okay. Like you can't look down on it. You just gotta know that it's valid. So it's just tough when you're an entrepreneur and you're in a situation and I think that's also one of the reasons why Elon Musk also gets a bad reputation and people like that, and like capitalists and entrepreneurs, because like example, you'll hear people at work talking cuck about the boss all the time, you know.
That always happens.
He's always trying to make us do extra, he's always trying to, you know. So it's because when you're in that moment and you know what you're trying to do, well, you're trying to be great at solving something that's going to be beneficial for the rest of the world or whatever. Yeah. And then somebody has an aspiration to be the best husband, you know, and he just wants to get back to his wife and cuddle. You can't, you have to, it's valid. His aspiration is valid. There's a whole sector of life where they talk about relationships, and it's all about being a good husband and good wife, and there's guys there or women there who listen to, when I read biographies, they're reading about how to become a better partner, or about love, or finding your soulmate. And so I don't want to say that that's invalid, you know, everybody is valid, but sometimes you feel like the importance of what you're doing is more important than those people, and that's why we get the flag as entrepreneurs. Yeah. Because I mean, I think if you look at it black and white, because of the amount of lives and change and like entrepreneurs are problem solvers in society, so we're gonna actually end up benefiting this person if you just help me here, just let me do this.
We're doing this. I'm doing this not just for me; it's for you as well. So we're gonna eat a piece of the pie.
Or your kids. Maybe I'm changing a way of life. Maybe I'm creating the new cell phone that's gonna make it easier for you to see your kids or your husband, because now you're in a love situation.
This reminded me of something like when I was making one of my short films. So I was producing it. I had to end up directing, and I was acting at the same time. And as a producer, you need to make sure everyone's there. I was paying for transport and stuff, and like even when you pay for people, like they don't realize it, they don't appreciate it.
They expect it.
Yeah, they expect it, and this was out of my own pockets. Like I'm funding everything myself.
They don't care.
They don't care. Work. Yeah. So I'm like, I want to make a movie. Like,
you see, but that's the operative word though. I want to make a movie.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So it's something for you as well. So
yeah. But like, if I'm gonna make a great movie and you're in it, you're gonna be a part of that greatness. And they don't see it.
Can I give you a cheat code?
But you're an actor, and like what you want, you're an actor, you want to act.
Can I give you a cheat code?
Yeah.
What you just said there, I'm gonna make a good movie. You can act in it. You gotta flip that. You gotta say we're making a movie. Give them skin in the game. So figure out ways that they could get ownership too.
Yeah.
So that, because now they thinking that you're paying them for their time, and then once the time is over, you're gonna have this beautiful product. But if you give people skin in the game and you say, look, we're doing a situation here where I've got a really dope idea, and I think that we should all be creating this together, and we should all be a part of this, and we should all have ownership of this. So, everybody's going to get royalty points from this. It's going to be your movie too, kind of thing, depending on how much work you put in. You do something like that, you say, cool, I'm the producer director, so that means I get 20%, 45% of the royalties. You are the lead actor, maybe you get 5, 10, whatever you value, but it's obviously got to be fair and for everybody to accept. But if you move a bit more like that in everything, it'll be a little bit, people will be more willing to help the thing succeed.
Phrasing and articulation, I think, is a lot of people's problems, because like they can't articulate it properly and they come across as something else, something that they don't intend. And language is important, like the way you say it, your delivery as well. Also, I also think a lot of relationships, that's also a downfall, communication, miscommunication, I think. Yeah.
I hear you, bro. Are they trying to pick us up?
I don't know, but we can call it.
I think we probably should.
Call it, yeah. It's lovely having you on the show, bro.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Bro. It's been lit.
Always.
Always.